The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Luke. On the Sabbath, Jesus went into the synagogue and began to teach. And a man was there whose right hand was withered. The scribes and Pharisees were watching him to see if he would cure a man on the Sabbath, hoping to find something to use against Jesus. But he knew their thoughts, and he said to the man with the withered hand, "Stand up, come out into the middle." And he came out and stood there. Then Jesus said to them, "I put it to you, is it against the law on the Sabbath to do good or to do evil, to save life or to destroy it?" Then he looked around at them all and said to the man, "Stretch out your hand." He did so, and his hand was better. But they were furious and began to discuss the best way of dealing with Jesus. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
My dear brothers and sisters in Christ, today in the Gospel we come across again the Pharisees with how conservative they are, holding and upholding the law of the Sabbath. And just to remember, the law had said, keep holy the Sabbath, keep holy the Sabbath. And with time it was being twisted. We came now, you could not do anything on the Sabbath at all. It's not only about keeping it holy, but the situation that we find today in the Gospel is that the Pharisees do not want Jesus to even do something good on the Sabbath. And you can just imagine a situation like that, where somebody needs healing and people will be waiting and looking forward to Jesus changing the life of this person, thinking that these people will be sympathetic to this man who had been suffering for a very long time. They are all looking forward to Jesus stretching his hand upon him and granting him healing. But instead, because of the human mind and how wicked we can be at times, they are even waiting and looking for an opportunity to arrest him and to charge him and to say he has broken the law and to find a reason to have him scourged and crucified. And this is what they have been looking for, an opportunity. Even though the opportunity is that which is meant at building somebody's life and changing somebody's life for good, they grab the opportunity. And Jesus says, is it written that you could do good on a Sabbath or to do evil? Because he knows exactly the evil thoughts that are going through their mind. And even though they are upholding the law of the Sabbath, their minds have become corrupt. And therefore it became a contradiction, because Jesus himself maybe is breaking the law of the Sabbath, but in a good way. Breaking the law of the Sabbath in doing something good, in doing something that is recommended, something that is commendable. And the Pharisees do not take that positively. And it is not only for the Pharisees, but there are also times that we look for opportunities to bring others down, opportunities to make people look terrible. And even though people are trying in their own ways to become better persons, people are struggling to become good, people are going through tough times and trying to struggle and get through that in order to become better persons, we always look for the opportunity to bring them down and remind them of how bad they are, and remind them of how useless and how they can never get out of the situation in which they find themselves. And it's not only a lesson for the Pharisees, because when Jesus came, he did not only come to redeem us, but to change the whole system, because the system was all about the law. He didn't care about love. And that is why in John's Gospel, chapter 13, Jesus says, I give you now a new commandment, a new law. Love one another as I have loved you. It's not about condemning each other, just like they had brought earlier on in John's Gospel, chapter 8. They had brought the woman who had committed adultery and said it should be stoned according to the law. And Jesus says, no, it's not about condemnation. It's about love. He says, I give you a new commandment. Love one another. Even if it's going to be on a Sabbath, even if you are going to break the Sabbath law, but let it be on the basis of love. And that made the whole difference to the teaching of Jesus. Contrary to the teaching of the Pharisees, who according to them, it was the Sabbath and nothing but the Sabbath. If you broke the Sabbath law, it doesn't matter how good the thing that you've done it was. Once you broke the law of Sabbath, then you are doomed. And Jesus teaches us something new. Love. Wish the good of the other. Say, this man has been suffering for all this while. I want to change his life. I wish that his life would be better. I think also about your brother, the struggles that he's going through, and even though you don't find yourself in such a situation, you must be able to sympathize with each other. You must be able to see each other where they are and pray for the situations of people that may be different, that it might be for their good, that they will find some joy and freedom and a breakthrough out of situations and not find an opportunity to plunge them more and more into the darkness. So my dear brothers and sisters, this Pharisaic attitude is not something that is far away from us. It's something that we find every day in the way we treat each other. But Jesus has taught us something different. That without love, every other thing is different. It's useless. That's why St. Paul picks up that theme in 1 Corinthians 13 and he says, even if you can sing with the voice of angels, if you can be as prophetic as any of the prophets without love, you are just like a gong banging. And he says, we must put love in everything. And this is what our Christian calling is all about, because Jesus showed us the peak of that love when he sacrificed his own life that we might live, that we might be redeemed. In the same way, we must be able to love each other and sacrifice for the good of each other.